Hello! Today we're at the farm and I'm lower and laning our greenhouse tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes, sun peaches, and sun golds in this line, and our cherry tomatoes are prolific. They grow super tall and long and fruit forever. So I want to do as little work as I can as a farmer. And one of the things that is a big reach for me is like an enormous amount of transplanting, as well as like keeping all of these tomatoes alive. Okay, let's start with the beginning. A tomato, you seed in like January or February in the prop house, and then you let it grow to like this big, and then you pot it up. So like already twice we've touched the plants, not to mention all of the times that we've watered in between, putting them in the germ chamber, checking on them daily, or 3 times a day. And then once we get the greenhouse area prepped, like that's prepping the soil, putting weed barrier down, putting drip line down. If it's a new barrier, burning holes. Like there's just a lot of prep to go into planting a greenhouse of tomatoes like this. And so we could trellis them all like we trellis our cucumbers with a W method. But at some point, the plants start to reach the top of the greenhouse. And even before they reach the top of the greenhouse, they're sometimes just out of reach of my hands. And especially if you're a shorter farmer in a taller tunnel, this might happen to you quite quickly. So it's really beneficial for the farmer to trellis in a way that allows you to lower the plant so that the fruiting happens more at eye level and the pruning and trellising happen more at eye level. It also is good for the plant because if the growth tip is at the most like sunny and hot place in the farm or in the tunnel, the fruiting could drop off. Like even though solanums are really into heat and sun, if they have sustained temperatures of over 90 degrees for 5 days, and that doesn't mean like it hit 90 for a second, but like, it was 90 all day, then they stop producing and go dormant. And if we are only seeing our fruiting happen at the very top, we might see some sort of dormancy or like blossom drops start to happen. So we use a lower and lean method of trellising in the greenhouse for our tomatoes. We have tomahooks on this side and roller hooks on this side. If you see at the bottom, we've connected each of the twine to the base of the plant using a trellis clip. And I went by yesterday or my team and I went by yesterday and stripped all of the leaves off from the bottom, like foot and a half, even 2 feet of the plant, so that we can start lowering the string on the tomahawk or the roller hook and then leaning the plant over. So I haven't done it to this one yet. This one's super leany. But this one, if I wanted to move it, I'd grab my tomahawk and bring it over. And then as soon as I feel the strings start to be a little tight, I'm just going to squeeze the tomahawk to let a little bit of string out and then move it as far over as I can, not running into the other plant. We still want to really consider airflow in this case. That's why we strip all the bottom leaves, to make sure there's airflow at the base of the plant and there's not too much moisture, which can lead to soil-borne illness, disease, viruses. And so now this plant, which started growing over here, the growth tip is now in a place where I can stand on my feet and trellis it. And all of the production is happening in a place that's not the hottest place in the greenhouse, nor is it close to the soil where most of tomato viruses are spread. So this method is good for the farmer because it saves time in not having to have like multiple successions of some of these high value crops that take so much work. I also call them diva crops because we're in here once a week, twice a week, maintaining them. So the fewer crops that you can maintain and get a bigger harvest, bigger bounties is easier. And then we'll get a higher quality fruit as well because we're not trying to push them into conditions that they don't grow well in, and just bigger harvests.